nervous, Connie? I know this is your first time reading in here. So, we good? All right, so we start now? All right. Boom. All right, so first of all, Dwight, can they see me outside yet? Okay, I'm going to wait till you tell me. Yeah. One more. If you're out in Zoom land, just give us a minute. We good? All right. Can they hear me? Okay. All right. All right. Let's get started. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you all to the book release of the wonderful, the incredible Pam Ward. Give it up for Pam Ward if you're outside. Yeah. So we're so excited about this incredible book. I've been begging Pam to publish a book of poetry on World Stage Press for about 2, maybe 3 years. And so, good things come to those who wait. And we know that Pam Ward's poetry is definitely a good thing. So we got lots of her people out in the virtual world watching, and also in the back I saw some mamas and some cousins and some aunties and some nephews. I smelled a lot of white diamonds outside. I saw people got the fresh clothes on from Ross that they bought just for your book release. You know? I see the tag. If you're going to just take the tag off if you don't want me to know that it's from Ross. Well, yeah, so I wanted to mention a couple things before we get started. First, I want to give a shout out to the several people who helped to work on Pam Release's book. If you don't know, Pam Ward herself is an amazing graphic designer. So she did some of the design related, and I believe it's your daughter who did the painting, right? Boom. So her daughter did the painting. She did some graphic design. Shout out to Crystal Statler, who helped with the layout design of the interior, and she did a little work on the back cover too. So I want to also give a shout out to Sarah Kayat in the back, the World Stage Press manager, for helping to usher the book into the world. And so to talk to you a little bit about World Stage Press was created here inside of the World Stage Performance Gallery by Connie Williams, who is here tonight. Give it up for Connie. And also myself, Hiram Sims. Together we created World Stage Press, and Pam Ward's book is called In Between Good Men and No Men at All. I feel like I'm almost getting that right. Okay, In Between Good Men and No Men at All. Boom. All right. Okay, I'm good. All right. So this book is a special night because, Connie, didn't you recently turn? I don't want to say your age on the internet. I'm not gonna. Well, the reason I was going to mention is because Pam Ward's book is the 65th book to come out on World Stage Press. That's the 65th book. Yeah, and so I thought there might be a connection, but Connie's 45, so that ain't go. Yeah, right. There's no connection. There's no connection to that at all. And so I wanted to also just mention that you can find Pam Ward's book, in addition to finding it outside, you can find it at worldstagepress.org, worldstagepress.org. And one amazing thing that I'm so happy about that I get to announce here is that the Central Branch of the LA Public Library has purchased 7 copies of every single book that has come out on World Stage Press. And so I want to tell you why that's so important and amazing. It's not only because writers desire to have their books in the library, it's because the Central Library holds the historic record of the city of Los Angeles. They have over 17 million photographs of everything that's happened in this city for the past 200 years. They have over 19 million books. But for that library to acquire all of our books means that World Stage Press is a part of the history of Los Angeles. So I'm incredibly proud of that and happy that Pam Ward's book also gets ushered into the LA Public Library. So that's another amazing thing to announce tonight. So without further ado, I want to call up an incredible brother, a visionary. He was the former coordinator of the Anansi Writers Workshop, and he was on the mic when I walked into the world stage for the first time. And he, in addition to that, is an incredible poet. He put out a book last year called The Distance of Observation. And without further ado, please welcome to the stage Connie Williams.
Thank you. Wow, it's really a pleasure to be here tonight to help celebrate the release of Pam's new book. When I first walked into the world stage over 25 years ago, and to see poets like Pam here at the world stage, it was incredible, man, because it was so many just amazing writers who were part of the Anansi Writers Workshop at that time, with Ruth Foreman and Michael Datcher, Janone Adams, Jaha, man, I can't even, S. Pearl Sharp. It was just incredible, the poets that were here at the world stage. And Pam certainly stood out as a person who was just so fierce with her language, and she would just say any fucking thing. I mean, so it was just, man. So this has always been one of my favorite poems I'm gonna read tonight from Pam's book to help celebrate her book, and I'm certainly really happy that she's on World Stage Press. The name of this poem is called Jeremy Strohmeyer, dedicated to Sharice Iverson, Enos Cosby, and all those who never saw him coming. When the devil, AKA Satan, Lucifer, the Lord of lies, flies, checked into the prima donna, he had a baseball cap, some Nike shorts, a nasty ass t-shirt with some nipples pierced, which he showed to the whole hotel crew. Checked in under the name Strohmeyer and strolled right to the arcade, wearing his poker face, handful of nickels, and a filthy mind. Eyed that black girl playing alone like last night's meat. Fed her coin after coin, lifted her up on the machine. See, the devil was so helpful. Hold that cherry Coke grin, hiding rotten capped teeth, copped a couple of gin and tonics, and was well on his way to that fake ID high. He felt good, felt free. Like the first sight of Vegas in the black desert night, like dice rolling, nothing but sevens. That little girl was so glad to have someone to play like patty cake, freeze tag, hide and go seek. They laughed all the way into the bathroom. I ain't lying, 'cause the handicap sign saw the whole bloody thing. Those fingers, those clothes ripped and thrown to the floor, her screams smothered shut in his lap. He sat on her, smashed both her feet in that bowl, held her whole body down in a wet, filthy grave. Oh, the paper towels, they cried, couldn't take it no more. The wash your hands signs just looked away. But old Strohmeyer sat still as death, didn't move, watching them old ladies walking back in and back out. Snap that young black girl's neck. Kind of like folks slap their cards. Snapped it twice, he said, just to make sure. See, this is an ugly poem. A poem for parents who gamble on faith, leave their babies outside like big plates of food on a dog pan, a bone. An old hound can sniff, leave them playing alone, and their only defense is a room key, a Coke, and a dime. See, this poem is a prayer. This poem says, beware, be alert, because the devil nearby, always hunting for food, always looking for you, and your wandering tots got a white ice-pick smile, stack of trick cards, fat boyish grin, and a criminal mind. Nail file, huge, jagged teeth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Connie. Thank you, Connie. All right, so the next poet coming up to the mic is someone, in my opinion, she's sort of a LA literary historian in her own right. You know, every time I talk to her, she talks to me about a lot of the history associated with this poetry community and, you know, with Leimert Park itself. And when it comes to language, she also pulls no punches. So without further ado, please give it up for El Rivera, coming up to the mic.
I'm reading the Pams Story. See, 100 years ago, Pam and I met. I swear it had to be 100 years ago because it was when the Women's Building was happening, when the Lakers were actually on top, and Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Now, you know that wasn't yesterday. When Janet Jackson, we thought she could sing. And all the things that were happening at that time was she was doing graphics, being a mother, living in a house. And her spouse was poetry. You know, every Wednesday we gathered here, or rather at the original World Stage, to read and share what we did that week. And usually Pam was the highlight. You know, she was the part of the night you knew was going to make you laugh, make you listen, make you feel, and also make you go, ooh. And, you know, the great part about it is that there was, at the time, the women dominated the stage. The stage will not tell you that. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. But the women were popping then, you know. In the 90s, you could not ignore the super powerful, fierce women that were here. You know, and like today, people talk to V, because V, you know, is the curator of the stage today, but and before, she was a mother doing the damn thing and coming here every week to free herself with the pen. You know, and every one of us had a mission of poetry. Our poetry was our salvation. And the women, usually, for the most part, I'd say at that time, all of the women, their spouse was the pen. And it was the actual best effort they gave was their being mothers, you know? So Pam is here tonight, an accomplished artist, author, poet, and has been an amazing parent. She has two awesome daughters, and you know, I've had the pleasure of knowing her and her family for 30 years, you know, and I think it's been an honor to have a friend so amazing and an example of what womanhood is, and at work, you know, because she has only been at work. You know, I've been kicking it on a joint, hanging out with a glass, doing me, and I've had the pleasure of doing that when Pam was like, "Girl, I'm busy. What do you need? What can I do for you? Because right now I'm busy. I got accounts. I got people that are waiting for their little drawings. I don't have time to talk to you. I have got to do. I have got to work. You know, I got girls to raise. They need me. And, you know, in a couple more minutes, I got to go." And, you know, it was real. But, you know, what I respected that. I think it was incredible that, you know, she would do that, because a whole lot of women would have copped out to a date, look for some excuse to pass on what they required. And she took it on every day, every time. And so I'm going to read one little poem and get off the stage. And I found the piece that I thought actually represented us now. And it's funny because, let's see, I know that in there. Might be, might not. No. 1 second. It's, you know, the times have changed, we've changed, and I found a piece called The Change. And really it talks about when women become older and the change takes over.
I'll read a poem if we can't find nothing, girl, because the time is ticking.
I see. And see, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm just going to say, that's it. Farewell.
No, keep looking, and I'll just read something while you look.
Okay. Okay.
I'll introduce myself. Hi. As you can see from that, who I am. All right, Elle's my dear friend, has been a soul sister from like the beginning. In fact, Elle was the first person to take me to the world stage, because I was going to the Beyond Baroque workshop, which was Wednesday night. She goes, "Pam, what are you doing up there? You don't even read like them." And so she brought me here, and I've been. I know, and boy, they're not ready. They're not ready. Oh, I'm going to stand. Okay, they're not ready, but it's okay, because I don't care. Let's see. Say her name. So I wrote, you know, the poems I write are based on stuff I see. When I wrote Jeremy Strohmeyer, that was an ugly poem. I read that in the LA Times about him snapping the girl's neck stuff, and I was like, it was verbatim what happened to her from an LA Times article. So I am moved to write poetry. And this poem is one of those because a lot of people are using the phrase Karen, and a lot of folks don't like that word. I love that word. It's called Say Her Name. We used to call her Miss Ann. Some call her Becky, a bossy little cuss who tossed shoes at our head, the kind of hatchet face who sold us downriver. Today we say Karen with a capital KKK. These fraudulent little cunts pop up once a week, demanding to speak to the manager, flapping antebellum tongues with their fake tears, fake traumatized Avon lies, igniting hate crimes as wide as all 50 states, till no man with a suntan was safe. Karens call the cops at the drop of a hat. Black kids selling lemonade or jogging down the street or bird watching alone in the park. On a lark, 'cause she crazy, or got Cro-Magnon jeans, here she go tattling, wagging that finger, weaponizing her pussy again, pushing her white privilege stank all up in our face, getting us lynched, tarred, or feathered, or burnt at the stake, all while feigning some fake-ass distress. Don't believe me? Here's some Karen-ish shit for your ass. Carolyn Bryant had Emmett Till killed. Susan Smith said a black man did it. The Scottsboro boys were almost lynched by a lying-ass trick. And did I mention the Central Park kids? Some Karens have gone on to liberate old towns. Somebody say Tulsa. Somebody say Rosewood, please. See her muddy little feet? Hear those crocodile tears? There goes Karen, playing the same role again, going for another Academy Award. And wait, stop complaining. Stop saying you hate the name. If Karen's the real victim, then go ahead, flip the script. How many black chicks call the cops and send white women to prison? Go ahead, Cinderella. I'm waiting. The Karen moniker marks a legacy of predatory terror. So if the shoe fits, then wear it. Thank you. Did you find this one? Okay, I'll read this last one, and then Elle, did you find yours? Okay, cool. She was coming right back up. We drive a lot in LA. It's a car culture, and I used to ride my kids to school. It was quite an adventure. Usually we're late, and I'm trying to get there on time, and there was a lot of drama in between the house and the school door. Car fight 59. I like LA, particularly the car racing in residential areas. The last one was with this obnoxious slob in a white gloss Benz. Cut me off big time, him and his fat cigar and Barbie bitch glued to his lap. Passed me with one hand. I had to brake so hard my groceries wrecked the back seat. It really pissed me off, but I got back next to him and blasted the most ghetto rap tape I had. Slid all the windows down, started bobbing too, like I gave a fuck, acting oblivious to his dog-faced mug and stuck-up date. I waited in the right lane, foot hovering the gas like a crook, ready to smash it down the second that sucker went green. Wasn't even where I wanted to go. But sometimes you gotta show folks, let them know that we all own these streets, even if it means taking in extra scenery. Thank you. Elle, you got your piece?
See? That's it. All right, old age is giving away to the paper. So, it's called The Change. It betakes one like dawn. You plan for tomorrow, but tomorrow is planned for you. As the change changes, we find nuances within the familiar and finally embrace ourselves.
Thank you, Elle. All right, so without further ado, even though she already came up here, I just want to say a couple things before we formally introduce the woman of the hour. First, I want to say that, you know how like rappers or people who love rap music, people ask you like, what's your top 5? You know, then people inadvertently say Tupac and Biggie and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like poets, we also have like our top 5. And so I made a Facebook post probably a couple years ago, and I was like, tell me your top 5 living poets, you know, and Pam Ward was in my top 5. Because to me, you know, I read lots and lots of poetry, but like I've heard her read probably 100 times. I've never heard her read a bad poem, not one time. And every time she hit the mic, I'm excited, like every single time. So, and I also just want to mention the fact that Pam Ward really from the beginning has been a great supporter of World Stage Press. I think it was during year 1, she came into the world stage, and we had like a glass table right in the front. And at that point, we only had 6 books, and we had them all displayed proudly there on a book release night. And Pam Ward came in, and she was so proud of the work that we did. We had 6 books. Now we got 65, you know, but we was on book number 6. And I think, you know, I just always remembered that. And sometimes as a black man, when you're doing something, and when black women tell you you're doing a good job, that means a lot. That means a lot to us. And so she's always been a great supporter. And to me, she represents like this legacy, this long legacy of black literature. The original mission of World Stage Press was the creation and proliferation of African American literature and beyond. Creation meant that we actually make it, we invent it, and proliferation meant we wanted to spread it. And so to me, Pam Ward's book is a representation of that. And it really reminds me, kind of use the word fierce. And I was just thinking about like the first black woman to publish a book in the United States, who was Phyllis Wheatley, who published her book in 1773. A couple years later, they were like, we should probably start a country. So black women been doing this for a long time. And although there's so many, many, many poets, to me, nobody does it better than black women. Phyllis Wheatley, Sonia Sanchez, Lucille Clifton, Maya Angelou, you know, and the list just goes on and on. And tonight, at this very moment, Gwendolyn Brooks, you know, like this, I mean, we could go on for an hour with these amazing black women who do, but tonight we celebrate the poetry of Pam Ward. So without further ado, back for the second time, reading from her book, In Between Good Men and No Men at All. Please put your hands together for Pam Ward.
Well, hello, hi. Thank you all for coming. It's so nice to see you. Sound effects. Now, see, we need some drummers up here. I was gone with that. Okay. The last buzz before death. And he's right. When I saw the World Stage Press, I was really like fascinated. But I got to tell you this, because this is a true story too. So I had a little book out called The Supergirl's Handbook with all these poets in it. And I called the World Stage and I said, I want to call this the World Stage Press. And those brothers pushed me back and said, you can't take that name. Then Hiram came up and just took the name. So that's okay. I called my press Short Dress Press. And we just kept it pushing. All right. So that's what you do, okay? When you see the doors closed, you go around and climb through the window. This poem is called The Last Buzz Before Death. And there's some young people here, and I want you to remember, just do it. Push hard. If you think it's too much, just keep pushing anyway. People around me are dropping like flies. I don't know why, but it seems like folks right and left have been dying. Daddy's gone. 2 grandmas went back to back. My friend's mama dropped dead last June. Flies are a lot like death, the way they crave the sweet, the way they hover over what's been cooked. Take Mr. Smitty up the street. He was this old-timey, shit-talking Friday night wino who lived in this flop by the alley. Hoodlums and crackheads would crash at his house. Front door was a regular swarm. He stayed torn up, stayed red-faced from midnight till noon, booze oozing out of each overripe pore. Stole a whole case of Jack during the '92 riots. Folks racing in while the liquor store blazed. Phone poles went up like great big Christmas trees. Place was a regular hive. I watched his bare-footed swag down our street coming back, one smash by his toe, but he grinned and kept stepping, singing Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. Face looked like he hit the lotto. Used to stop by my place to chit-chat and kill time. Told me, one day I'm buying you a great big steak dinner. Yes, sirree, he would wink between long, juicy swigs and huge gnats making love to his sleeve. Now I wish that I did, that I wouldn't have waited or worried so much what the neighbors would think, seeing me in the seat of his red, jacked-up van. He used to come real early and watch me pull weeds. If you were my woman, you would never do that. He was sweet and real old, but still Romeo fine, with his tomahawk nose and high cheekbones dug deep in some black backyard barbecue skin. I should have gone, took the chance, made that full grin his crazy ass wild turkey smile. Should have went, grabbed my keys, let the front screen door smack. Should have laughed and drank scotch over grilled filet mignon. Should have gone, let the neighborhood buzz if they want. Let them swarm, let their fleshy tongues fester like maggots. Should have looked dead at life, zeroed in on the moment. Like a fly does your plate when you're eating outside, like your arm, like your fist raised and gripping the swatter. Should have told the man yes while the day was still young, tasted steak in my mouth before night buried dawn, before this dry-throated thought of him gone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, okay, here's a poem for my kids, because I spied on my kids. You know, every parent spies on their kids. And, you know, I mean, if you're a good parent, you spy on your damn kids. Okay? Shit, they don't tell you everything, you better look. All right, so this is called Drop It Like It's Hot. If you've ever dropped your daughter alone at a mall, 15, ponytail, lip gloss and jeans, dropping her alone to shop, dropping her unleashed to meet a friend, leaving her scrub shiny and young, a pan of hors d'oeuvres, wearing her dyed and went straight to heaven grin. If you ain't ever cheesed a lie, waved and said, bye, y'all have fun, did the long fake-out waltz like you strolled to your car, doubling back, watching them stop at hot dog on a stick, where their soft kiss spears your own lung. Becoming bloodhound, watching them roam, stalking through coats, shoes, and scars. Becoming mall cop, espionage mama, a female James Bond, feeling a time bomb tick in your bra. If you've ever clocked a walk, hunted behind T-shirts and feet, feeling the raw heat of murder while smelling fries and Dior, teetering between slaughter and Lord, please make the boy sweet. Creeping around Foot Locker, Starbucks corners, pretending to like shit you don't need, eavesdropping while pretending to read. If you've ever dropped your daughter and fell on all fours, sniffing up pretzel blood, letting your hem lick the floor, forgetting you wore a skirt, stifling a growl between molars, hounding C's Candy Teen Love, going store after store, then baby, you ain't never lived. Thank you. I'll just read a couple of more, and then we'll probably, I don't know the time, we probably have to close this out. Okay, oh, that's too bad. My mother's here. Okay, all right, I know. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, well, okay. Oh, that's just, God, I can't believe they printed this stuff. Oh my God. Okay, all right, we'll just go for it. Oh, okay, this is really nasty. All right. Oh, okay, barium method. I found a condom by my car, okay? Smack dab by my rear door, smiling all bold from the cold country black, a nasty, fat, prophylactic, wet, slimy moon lying limp like some dog's sloppy tongue. Ain't this some shit? Some lowlife just got his did, then tossed the damn thing into traffic? I imagine them parked in this very same stall, drawers pulled down, handcuffing her at the knees, thighs licking glass like a squeegee, and him and that hairy ass hanging all raw, and that Jimmy hat rubbing back in and back out, and then back in again, on and off like some cheap prison light bulb, pounding wild, screaming loud, and professing his love. Whose goddamn pussy is this bitch? And now here it was, sprawled out, exhausted, and leaking all happy. I stepped up, gunned it hard, and took off. Now, that was a poem I didn't want to read, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my mom. I have to apologize. I'm just... Okay. So this is a nicer piece. This is for my cousins who are descendants of Sally Hemings and Jefferson. It's called The Yellow Children of Monticello. Before Roosevelt, way before JFK, before Clinton claimed I did not have sex on TV, before Monica Lewinsky tripped out and forgot to wash her dress, Thomas Jefferson was banging out tots like a fiend, making a banquet out of Sally Hemings' body. He created more kids than he could track. Jefferson kept his black children under lock and key, all while singing, "Oh, say, can we see?" All his pickaninnies, tall and skinny, looked exactly like him, and nobody blinked. Nobody batted a lash, seeing these yellow children of Monticello springing everywhere like weeds. They heard Thomas's cry for freedom turn into bedroom deceits. They watched their father, a boll weevil, feast on fresh draws like a cotton gin separating seeds. And when they realized he would never set them free, they read his Declaration of Independence. They waited for a harmony of coughs. They watched this apostle of the Constitution and willed bronchitis to drum his lungs. They sang hymns to bring on fever, yearned for heart attacks or strokes, anything to take his last breath. But Jefferson lived and lived and lived and lived and lived and lived and lived. He did. The motherfucker lived about 90-something. We hold these truths to be self-evident, he said. For his yellow kids, this was just a long-winded speech. People applauded. People lauded him a saint. People ignored his children in chains. Only when slavery began its swan song, unraveling like a hymn, did Jefferson finally relent. At last, on his deathbed, before he peacefully died in his sleep, Jefferson and Sally Hemings' kids were finally released. But wait a minute. Stop the presses. Maybe it didn't happen like that at all. Maybe Sally was fed up with all the laundry, sex, and lies. Sick of the broken promises, maybe Sally finally snapped, like an overseer whipping a child's back. Maybe Sally had to go all Monica on them all. She wouldn't be the first to topple a president. Plantation life takes its toll. So maybe Sally took out Jefferson herself, having that one final pillow talk at last. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay. 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 That one's long. Baton Lessons. I took 2 baton lessons and quit, leaving the metal rod next to the ice skates and bike I'd already abandoned for good. Hi, Mom, you're in this one. It wasn't until Leslie moved next door that I used it again. Leslie liked to talk shit, popping gum in my face, splattering her slob on my neck. But one day I snapped, ran home and grabbed my baton, put on my pink tights, glitter top, walked back outside and whopped her right there on the sidewalk. I remember gripping it exactly the way I'd seen Willie Mays, then twirling like in a parade. Mama made me apologize that time, dragging me down to their house, lecturing me about stones and sticks. But secretly I was proud she'd gotten me those lessons. You never know what tricks come in handy. Thank you. I'm going to try to leave it on a high note, okay? Because that's the best way to do these things instead of walking out glooming and doomy. Okay, how about, let's give Sally Hamming. No, how about Hattie McDaniel? No, how about, no. Okay. Okay. See, now I'm like, L. Now I know how it feels. All right, okay. This is for Trayvon Martin with respect to Cypress Hill. Here is something I can't understand. How Zimmerman could kill a man. I'm just walking home from the store. Crazy ass starts a civil war. Hoodies on 'cause the street is chill. 17 trying to get some Skittles. But here is something I can't understand. How Zimmerman can kill a man. Crazy ass thinks black skin is whack. Call the cops, they tell him stand back. Girlfriend tells me to run away. Hell no, I say, I ain't afraid. But here is something I can't understand. How Zimmerman can kill a man. Beg and scream for him to let me be. Daddy lives in the community. Try to fight when I hear blam, blam. And Zimmerman just killed me, man. And Zimmerman just killed me, man. And Zimmerman just killed me, man. I guess that wasn't a high note, but hey! We're alive and keep writing, keep telling our truth. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, my family, my daughters, Mari and Hannah, my mother, Bonnie, my sister, Linda, Lisa, who drove all the way from Fremont, Morgan, I see you, Connie and Elle, Rachel for coming all the way from Detroit, which is maybe 2 or 3 miles. Detroit Street, not the state. Thank you so much. Hiram, you got the floor.
All right, thank you all for coming. Please get a copy of Pam Ward's book. If you're out in the virtual world, you can get it from worldstagepress.org. That's worldstagepress.org. And if you're here, just get a book in the back. And we always say buy 2 copies, one for yourself and one for somebody you don't like. And then just give it to them and say, I don't like you, but here's an incredible book. So thank you all. Have a good night. God bless you.